Hello?
How are you doing this evening?
I think you have the wrong number. Goodbye. Hello?
I don't think this is the wrong number.
No, I'm fairly certain you do. It happens. Have a good night.
Don't hang up.
Excuse me.
If you hang up, you'll never live to see the end of today's figure review.
Is this some kind of prank? What do you want?
I want all of you in LJV to suffer. Suffer like Mayor Aaron has made me suffer after using me on one lousy video. He left me to die. And now, it's your turn, Mayor Stase.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know a lot about you. I can see you right now.
Okay, that is enough. Who are you and what do you want?
What I want is for you to look on the porch.
Robotominas, don't you dare hurt them. You know they can't be near water. It will kill them.
Don't fret. All you have to do is play a game to save them.
What is it? I'll do anything to save them.
Let me ask you, do you like scary movies?
Of course I do. I live in Mayor Aaron's house, don't I?
Then answer this question. Who was the killer who failed at overtaking LJV in the first year of Jill-O-Ween?
That's easy. I may have not been around at the time, but I've watched all of Mayor Aaron's videos. The answer is Lana.
I'm afraid you're wrong. The answer is Demon Lana. Ha 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 ha. Say goodbye to your robotic morons.
No, that isn't fair. I was right. That's it. I'm going to get Mayor Aaron. Are you there?
Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Make sure to subscribe for a first look at all future women's wrestling figures. And this Jill-O-Ween month, I have a lot of women's wrestling figures coming, and I'm super excited because this is the greatest month of the year. Jill-O-Ween is a month-long celebration, and I hope you enjoyed the intros, and I hope you enjoyed the reviews. But anyway, I am here to review AEW Unrivaled Series 11 Penelope Ford. So I'm super excited. Let's take a closer look. Alright, so starting off with the packaging here, and I've mentioned this a lot on the channel that I absolutely love what AEW and Jazz Wars does with the packaging here. I think it's beautiful, and I love the Unrivaled line, how it has a gold and black theme here. It looks very classy, and it really pops on the shelves. Now, as far as this figure MOC, I think it looks really good. My primary concern here is the sunglasses are on Penelope here in the package, so I have no idea what the scan looks like underneath. So with that being said, I did order two, and if the face scan is printed on wonky, I will open up the other one and give you all a fair review. But either way here, it does look cool MOC. We have an image of the beautiful Penelope Ford, her name on the side, the series, and on the back, wow. Penelope Ford, everybody. She is beautiful, I'll tell you that much. What an image there. We have her little autograph there, and then we have what the Attire's from, and the rest of the line. So, wow, yeah, I love her. Anyway, let's open this up and take a closer look. AEW Unrivaled Series 11 Penelope Ford. This attire is from the June 18th, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite, where Penelope would make Julia Hart tap out. Alright, some overall first impressions of this figure. I mean, I'm so happy to have a Penelope Ford figure. If we go back in December on LumberJillville, I did a top 10 kind of a Christmas wish list of women I wanted to see in figure form for 2022, and Penelope was on that list, so I'm really glad to have a figure of Penelope Ford, and I do think it looks cool. But the first thing I did notice, unfortunately, is the hairstyle. I really wish they would have gone with this hairstyle that the image shows on the back of the package here. I don't know what you call that, but it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's unique, and I would have loved to see that in figure form. So we kind of have a generic hairstyle here, and that's kind of a downer in my opinion, but it does look like a pretty cool figure as it is. You know, it definitely stands out on its own, so that's just a small little gripe here. Now, she has open hands on the figure, and she also comes packaged with these closed fists. She also has sunglasses and a jacket, which we'll cover here in a little bit, but let's start off with that face scan, face sculpt, and hair sculpt. Alright, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am a little nervous what the face looks like under these glasses because these sunglasses do a good job of blocking that scan, so you have no idea if it's printed on good or not. And I am going to say, in hand, the sunglasses actually look pretty good. I thought they looked pretty silly in the images, and they still look a little bit off, but if you look at images of Penelope Ford, a lot of her entrances, she does have unique shaped sunglasses like this, so I think they do work, especially a lot better now that I'm seeing them in person. I think they look pretty cool and definitely unique. Now, the hair sculpt, as I mentioned, is just kind of a generic hair sculpt, which is unfortunate. I really wish we would have got that design or that hairstyle that she had that was on the back of the package here. And it is just a solid color white. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the hair sculpt and the color on this one. All right, so let's take off these sunglasses, which, like I said, are better in person. And it's a decent face scan. To be honest with you, I don't really think it looks like her. I think it's kind of a generic looking female scan. You know, I don't think it's horrible looking at it from different angles, especially where I'm standing compared to where the camera is. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not spot on. It's kind of like the Red Velvet. You know, like it's a good looking scan, but it's definitely not perfect. And if you had this head on another female wrestling body, someone wouldn't be like, hey, that's Penelope Ford. You know what I mean? So I think it's okay, but I'm definitely going to display her with the sunglasses on, mostly because I'm not a huge fan of that scan. But yeah, so I think the face scan, the face sculpt is just okay, and the hair sculpt is a little disappointing. But I do think these sunglasses are better than I thought. So now let's cover the body sculpt and the attire, and starting off with this leather jacket here. So this is a soft rubber type material, but it definitely works. I think the only negative to this is there's not any movement with the arms having this jacket on. But it does look pretty cool. There's some sculpted details there. It fits her nice. All the way around it fits her. So I think it's a pretty cool little jacket accessory. Now let's see how hard it is to take off. And it's really not that hard. It just kind of slides down, and it didn't leave any stains on her body, so that's good. That's definitely a plus. Now, as far as the body sculpt goes, this is a completely unique and new body sculpt here, and I really like how they do take the time and attention to try to make these female figures feel like figures of them. They don't really reuse parts a whole lot, and here's no difference. We have the chest sculpt is definitely bigger and definitely spot on to how it is in real life. It looks really, really good. And starting with the top here, so the top is sculpted on, and that's nice and all, and the straps are sculpted. We have the strap sculpted on the back, but as far as the design goes, it's unfortunately just painted on. It really doesn't stand out a whole much. Moving on to the midsection, that is all just painted on. There's not a whole lot of sculpting here or any sculpting at all. We can kind of see some muscle tone underneath, and that's nice, but the attire itself doesn't have any sculpting to it. It's just painted on there. And she has these little forearm sleeves here that are black, purple, and pink. No sculpting, just painted. And then the bottoms here, okay, we'll talk about the lower body sculpt here. So the lower body sculpt is unique to her. It's new. And yeah, they definitely did a good job here. You know, without sounding weird, they did a good job here of making it resemble Penelope from, you know, neck down. You know, I think the part choices and the unique body sculpting is really, really good. They did a good job here. The bottoms are sculpted on. It's kind of hard to tell you there. There's a little ledge. So the bottoms are sculpted on, and the detailing is just painted. Now on the legs, she has this thing painted on around that looks good. She has these black knee pads and these black boots. So yeah, I think as far as the body sculpt goes, I think it's pretty freaking awesome. I think it's perfect. I really like that they give these women's figures some character. And yeah, they made this one pretty accurate to Penelope's physique. And I think they did a good job there. But unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of just all the deco as far as the accents goes, just painted on. There's no sculpting. Alright, so as far as articulation goes, we have a lot of head movement here. She can really look right, really look left. She can look down, she can look up. And unfortunately, she does have that kind of forward head movement, and that makes it hard when heads are swappable. But here we just have a stationary head, so it is what it is. The shoulders on a ball joint can go in all different directions. Kind of locks into place, really cool. Upper arm swivel, double jointed elbows. The wrist can swivel and also extend and flex. We have the upper torso movement, which is pretty good. She can move forward, back, side to side. She has a waist swivel. Her hip is on a ball joint, can move in all different directions, but it can't really go back too far because of the backside sculpt there. So keep that in mind. We have an upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees can really flex. Upper boot swivel, and the foot can planar flex and dorsiflex up. So yeah, I mean, these AEW women's figures are always very articulate. Alright, so overall, I give AEW Unrivaled Series 11 Penelope Ford an overall score of a 7.8 out of 10. I think this is a cool figure, but there are some things I like, some things I don't like about it. Starting out with the positives, I think this body sculpt is tremendous. I love that they gave her her own unique body sculpt, and it's very lifelike to her in real life. I think that's excellent that they did that, and they went the extra mile there. And I like that leather jacket. I think it's a cool-looking accessory. And also, those sunglasses, surprisingly, I think they look a lot better in person. Like I said, I thought they looked goofy in images, but in person, I actually like them. Very unique shape. The things I don't like, I think the face scan is just kind of generic. I really don't think it looks like Penelope. It's kind of like the Red Velvet, where it doesn't look like a horrible scan. It's not like a horrific looking scan, but it doesn't really look like the Superstar, and I really don't think that scan looks like Penelope too much. And the hair sculpt is also another little negative for me, because I would have loved to see that unique hair sculpt that was on the back of the package there. That's what she wore that night, and that would have been so cool if they gave her that. And I think the generic hair sculpt they gave her is okay for what it is. And also, as far as the attire goes, there's a lot of painted detail in the attire, but not a whole lot of additional sculpting or anything. So the attire is just kind of bland in my opinion. But either way, like I mentioned, this is one of the top 10 most wanted women I wanted to see released in figure form in 2022, and I'm so grateful and happy to get one. So I'm stoked to add Penelope to my AEW shelf, but there's definitely room for improvement in the future of her figures. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For our first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10% on your next order of women's wrestling figures. Now stay tuned, there are tons of women's wrestling figures coming this month, and what that means is there's going to be a lot of more Jill-O-Ween content all month long. Thank you for watching, and have a great night, y'all.